This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Brighton.
We are.
We are.
We are by the seaside. This is where I've lived my entire life and where I bought my house last year. Yeah, it's my hometown. I'm always going to be here.
Some place you've got here, I've got to say. Well, we saw bits of it. We see bits of it on your Instagram, and we saw the cribs thing that ITV put out the other day. But yeah, did you have this built here?
It was built end of 2017, so it's about a year old. Yeah, so it's a brand new build, and yeah, you know, this is what I've really, this is the type of thing I've been working towards my entire career, to be able to buy a property like this, and it's an investment. It's not just, you know, it's not just a house. This is something that, you know, obviously will go up in value over the years, and then, you know, maybe you can sell it and buy a bigger place. You know, it's smart investments. That's what boxing's all about. A lot of fighters these days, they make money and then they blow it. They blow it within a year or 6 months, and then they have to keep fighting to live. You got to, in my opinion, you got to spend money on things that are gonna increase in value, that are going to be able to make you money further down the line.
You do seem like someone that thinks about kind of life after boxing as well, financially for yourself as well. We kind of see you houses like this and the cars you drive, etc. But at the same time, it seems like you do think about, you know, when I do stop boxing, which will happen one day, that you're kind of financially secure in that respect as well.
That's right. Yeah, obviously. Like I said, my money's put into smart places. I don't, you wouldn't know where my money's invested, but it's not just being thrown away. It's not just being spent on holidays and clothes and materialistic things. It's being put into places where it can build over time, and I think that's a big problem in the sport of boxing. A lot of kids, a lot of these guys, they don't have any advisors. They don't have book smarts. All they know is how to fight. And so when they make money, you know, it washes away within a few months, within a year, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm back to square one now, and I have to fight again so I can eat, so I can pay my rent. You got to think about the future. You got to think about your family, and your kids' families and their families, generations. You know, that's the smart thing to do, in my opinion, when it comes to making money in the sport.
Funny you should say that, because it was the back end of last year I saw, and I won't mention any names, but a young fighter making his professional debut picked his wages up on the night on quite a big card. I don't know how much the wages were, that's not of my concern, but literally took it, and I said, oh, as a joke, what are you doing with that now? He said, well, it's Saturday night, so I'm going to spend it on a Saturday night. And it just got me thinking. I'm thinking, do other fighters do this? Like at that kind of level, are they kind of looking at their winnings on a Saturday night? Is that a done thing? Were you doing that with your early day money?
I've never been like that, but I know so many fighters who do that. They'll make money, they'll fight, they'll get a nice little purse, and then it's to the casino, it's to the clubs, it's the bottles, the girls.
The Remy Martin.
Yeah, all of that high lifestyle, and you know, it's gone quick. You know, everything in proportion. Obviously, treat yourself. You've worked hard. You should be able to enjoy life, but you know, there's only so much of a good thing. You can't invest your money or just throw your money away like that, because you're going to end up retiring and then not having anything, and then you're going to have to go and do a 9 to 5 somewhere. What you want to do is, yes, enjoy your life, but enjoy it in moderation, so that you can enjoy your life even more once you can't box, because it's a short career. You know, how many careers do you know that finish at 30, 34, 35? Not many. And then what are you going to do? You know, the goal, the dream is to be able to, you know, make enough money to be successful enough to be able to retire from the sport and then enjoy the rest of your life in comfort. You can only do that by putting your money in the right places.
How long is your career?
I'm 29 years old, so my career is, you know, it's just getting started, believe it or not. I'm in the prime of my life. I believe at my weight, you know, you can fight and be effective if you live the life, if you're responsible with with your weight and how you eat and how you live. You can fight 33, 34, 35 and still be, you know, very effective. But you have to be responsible. You can't be blowing up in weight between fights. You can't be taking long periods out of the gym. You have to be constantly training your mind and your body, even when you don't have a fight coming up. That's the way that you are able to make sure that you have longevity in your career.
Let's flash back to last night, obviously, where the face-off between you and James DeGALE was aired via ITV yesterday. I suppose the burning question everyone wants to know is, what happened in Dubai with DeGALE and Arch?
You know, I mean, it's embarrassing. And he was really upset that I said that.
You must have been pretty close, Chris, to kind of have seen what happened, because I'm assuming you weren't in each other's company, so you must have been pretty close.
I'm good friends with Arj as well, so that's why I saw everything.
Right, got you.
I'm friends with Arj, and but it's just the fact that a world champion is standing there beefing with Arj from Towie. You know, he's on the TV. You can't. You're a fighter. You're a professional fighter. How are you doing that in public? That's not the way a champion should act.
Just to clarify, there weren't any punches thrown, were they? It weren't a fight, was it?
I didn't actually see. I saw the beginnings of it, and then what they actually cut out in the ITV interview. They cut out the part which I said, where I told everybody, well, I told him that I saw him come out of the club, and there was another altercation with one of Arj's mates, and Arj was there as well. And he poked. He's standing in front of the guy, front up to him, and he poked him in the eye. I watched him do that. I was in my car about to drive off, and I'm just watching him like, what? Look at this clown, he's drunk, and he just poked this kid in the eye. And I thought, there's no way a man like that, who's capable of acting like this, he could ever beat me. How could he beat me? Just to have that mindset, you know. Clown is the only word that comes to mind when I saw that, and when I think of the things that I've seen him do and heard him do. You know, I've heard much worse stories than that. Some story I'm not even going to go into, but he is, he's not a good guy, you know, and that's why I'm so happy that this fight's on, because I think he does need to be taught a lesson. He needs to be taken down a peg or two.
We kind of see via your social media stuff with you out at events and stuff like that, but yesterday you said something quite interesting, that you might be at these events and you might be out and things, but you don't touch alcohol.
Everybody goes out. I'm living like a monk, 2-3 months before every fight. No going out, no friends, no partying, you know, just training, eating boring food. So after a fight, of course, you're gonna enjoy life, but I'll never drink. I may buy bottles. I may have bottles brought to the table. I may be around people that are drinking. I am never drinking. I'm never drunk. You will never find one picture, one video, one story of Chris Eubank Jr. being drunk in a club, ever, in the 29 years that I've been on this planet. James DeGALE cannot say the same thing. Most fighters can't say the same thing. Floyd Mayweather can. I know that's a fact. I've been out with him many, many times. He never touches alcohol.
Have you never drunk? Or in your earlier days?
When I was 14, 15.
Yeah, white lightning, yeah?
Yeah, you know, you're a kid, and, you know, your parents are always talking about don't ever touch alcohol, and you got to see what it's like. Of course I tried alcohol then. I tried a cigarette. You know, I tried things as a kid, but, you know, once I went into the sport of boxing, never. You can't live that way if you wanna enjoy a long career. And I don't think that James DeGALE shares that same philosophy. I think he has a lot of fun that he shouldn't be having outside of the ring, and it takes its toll. I've seen so many fighters. They go out, they get drunk, they do all these things, and it wears you down. It wears you down physically. It wears you down mentally. And most importantly, it sets a bad example to the kids. We have the younger generation looking up to us as fighters, and they copying everything that we're doing. So if they see you drinking, if they see you getting into fights outside of the ring, they think, yeah, well, he's doing it, so I'm going to do it. I don't want to set that example.
Why is James so insistent on branding this as this retirement fight, and you are quite opposite in the fact of you're not even entertaining a discussion about what happens if you don't win? What does that show from James to you?
It shows weakness to me. That's not where his mind should be. I don't know if it's a stunt. I don't know if he's trying to, I don't know if it's a mind game. Maybe he's trying to make me think that he is thinking of retiring so that I take the fight lightly, because I think he's just looking for a way to make a quick buck and get out of the sport. Or whether he genuinely thinks, after this I'm going to knock it on the head. I really don't even, I'm not trying to, I don't think about it. I'm not, because that's what he wants. He wants me to be thinking about, what does he mean by retirement? Why is he talking about retirement? Why is he saying these things? I just got to stay focused on what I need to do. And what I do know is that I'm not anywhere even close to retiring. So that whole branding of the retirement fight, I'm letting him do that, but that's not my mindset.
Do you accept, though, that if things weren't to go your way, it puts you in a very kind of difficult position trying to...
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I cannot afford to lose this fight. I cannot afford a flat performance. A loss leaves both of us, either of us, whoever loses, in dire straits, no man's land, nowhere to go. We both can't afford a defeat, and that's why this fight is so exciting, because it's two fighters that are on the edge, and none of us want to fall off.
He says he specifically vacated his IBF crown to fight you. Do you believe it was solely to do with the fight with you is the reason why he vacated the belt and not fight his mandatory?
I don't know. What can I say? If that's the case, good, because the fight's here. I can't condone what he did, because you just don't do that as a fighter. You don't relinquish your belt. Doesn't matter who you want to fight, you just don't do that. That's not the mindset of a champion. Did he relinquish it to fight me? I don't know. All that matters is the fight's here now. I've been trying to make the fight for years. He's been ducking and dodging me for years. I'm just happy that we finally get to give the fans what they've been asking for.
The most notable thing going into this fight is that you have a full-time trainer, shall we say, in Nate Vasquez. How's that relationship been going?
Good. He's living with me here at the house alongside Dennis Douglas, my head sparring partner. And yeah, it's taken some getting used to. I've lived alone my whole life. I've lived in this house for over a year alone. So to have two men suddenly come into my life and be staring at me in the mornings it took some getting used to. But I have to do what I have to do to be the best fighter I can be on the night. And I believe that is having a full-time trainer, a full-time camp, focused on strategy, game plan, tailoring everything to what James DeGALE is, and that's what we have.
In your head, do you know for certain that in between the rounds, of the fight with James DeGALE that you will listen to your coach?
I'm going to try.
What does that mean?
It means that for my entire career, I haven't listened to anybody, really. I mean, my father and Ronnie Davis, they'll say certain things, but to be honest, I'm the type of fighter, when I'm in a fight, I'm very cerebral, I'm very focused on what I think I should be doing.
But how does Nate feel about that then? When I'm assuming you've kind of not had this specific discussion, but if he's hearing you say that I'll try and listen to him, as opposed to he's the coach, I do listen to him. I mean, how does that work?
Well, listen, nobody's perfect. I've gone my.
Well, you're being honest, which is.
I've gone my entire career believing in myself and doing what I think was best, and it worked. It worked 98% of the time. It's hard to then switch that whole process around and entrust your thought process to somebody else. This is the first time that I will have him in my corner for a fight, so the best that I can say is that I'm going to try and listen. On the night, you know, you think one thing's going to happen and something else happens. I trust Nate. I believe in his ability as a trainer. I believe in his knowledge. So the things that he says to me in the corner, I will listen to, and I will try and put them into effect as best as I can.
3 years ago, I believe, when you announced you were working with Adam Booth, you must have thought at that point that you needed a trainer. So, but between that point and this point, you haven't had one. So what happened in that time then? From the point that you thought at one point that I need a trainer, because obviously you was working with Adam. So why didn't you have one after that?
You know what, that was actually, as far as I can remember, that was something my father set up. He set up the Adam Booth trial period. And because it didn't work out, I guess after that I was like, you know what, forget trainers, I'm just gonna do what I do. You know, it's funny, I don't think I've ever told anyone this. The way the reason why that it fell apart between me and Adam Booth, we had a sparring session down at my gym in Brighton, and Michael Venom Page, he came down. I had a few other sparring partners there. Adam came down, and me and Michael sparred. And through my entire career, I've always sparred 3-minute rounds, 30-second rest. We did one round, me and Michael, and I said, all right, 30-second rest, and we're back in for the second round. And Michael said no. He said, it's a minute rest. Him and his trainer. His trainer was like, no way, we're not doing 30-second rest. We do a minute rest. And I said, well, it's my gym. You come down here to spar me, so just respect the rules of the gym, and we're gonna do 30-second rest. And they were like, no, we're not doing that. I said, all right, well, there's the door, mate. My other sparring partner is going to jump in, because that's how I spar. It's my gym. You've come down to work with me, so if you're not happy with that, you guys can leave. And so they did. He got out of the ring, and him and his trainer left, and Adam Booth left with them. He followed them out of the door and didn't come back. A trainer is supposed to stick by their fighter, in my opinion. Even if I was wrong, which I don't think I was, even if I was wrong, Adam should have stayed in the gym with me, not been upset because I chased away a sparring partner. So seeing him do that made me think, okay, well, this isn't the right guy for me. We're obviously on 2 different levels. So yeah, that's why me and Adam ended up separating, and
Did you speak to Adam after that? After the point of him leaving the gym? Not about the reasons why he left the gym, etc.,
I
etc.
spoke to him. Yeah, I've seen him. You know, I can't remember if we've actually had the conversation on that. We may have. It was a long time ago. This was years and years ago. But yeah, after that, I thought, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna keep things simple, do what I've been doing, and it worked. You know, I've had a lot of great fights, a lot of great wins. So in my mind, it was like, well, I'm winning. Why do I need a trainer?
If you had, in hindsight, which is obviously they say is a wonderful thing, if you had a full-time trainer in the corner for more specifically the George Groves fight, because the Billy Joe Saunders fight was quite some time ago now, but the George Groves fight, how much of a difference could that, in your opinion, made to you on the night?
We'll never know. That you can't really say, but more so than having a trainer is having the right preparation for that fight. I didn't prepare effectively. Obviously, not having a trainer, not having the right type of sparring. I'm sparring a 6'7" cruiserweight. That's every week, and random guys who I could get to come down.
Who decides your sparring partners? Who picks them?
Well, now me, but before that was left to Ronnie and my father, just, you know, whoever they could get. And to be fair to them, it's always been very, very hard for me to get sparring. A lot of guys either don't want to come down, or they come down for one session and it's hard and they don't come back. You know, they have one sparring session and then the next week, oh, do you want to come down? So I'm getting married in a couple of weeks, mate. I can't come down. Oh, I'm sick. Oh, my wife's ill. There's so many excuses I've heard over the years, and you just never see him again.
Not because footage gets released.
No, I wouldn't
of
say
sparring.
that. No, I mean,
which has happened, Chris.
Very rarely. There's been one or two occasions, but very rarely. I mean, if you're going to talk about how many spars I've had and how many different sparring partners I've had, and you look at how much footage is out there, it's a tiny percentage. So that's not the reason, because they do, you know, they have come down, but they just don't come back.
Has anyone got sparring footage of you and James from those years ago? Has anyone got that?
I don't know. I have no idea. I know we don't, and if they do, they're definitely not putting it out. So
if anyone's out there that has this footage, we'll be willing to make a bid on that. Actually, that'd be quite good.
Yeah.
To have that.
I'd love to.
Someone in the gym must have had their phone out, unless you're specific about who's kind of obviously filming that stuff.
I'm very specific, but at that stage I wasn't, because I wasn't even pro then, so I didn't care. I was in there sparring James DeGALE, Olympic gold medalist. But yeah, I'm sure somebody did take some type of video, but you know, if it's anyone on his side, they're never going to show it. They're never going to release it. But sparring is not the fight. You know, everybody gets hung up on the sparring stories. We're two completely different fighters. I believe I'm 10 times the fighter I was then. I believe he is a different fighter. I believe that he's confident in his ability. I don't think that he thinks deep down that he can win. You know, I'm sitting across from him, I'm listening, I'm watching him talk. It all just seems like an act. The joking, the laughing, the things he was saying. I think he's a great actor. We need to get him in some up and coming movie roles, I think, after he retires, because I don't believe any of it. And he's lied so much as well. He's lied so many times. And it's like he actually believes it. It's like I pulled him on one of his lies. I said, "You said that you made me quit in the spar." He's on record saying that. He's said it in interviews. He said it to the ITV boxing crew. And then I'm looking at him, he said, no, I never said that. Never said that. Didn't say that, Chris. It's like, well, you're just lying. But I think he actually believes it, or he's just a great actor. Either way, I don't think that he's confident in his ability to beat me. I think that he's just putting a front on. I think he's going to try. I think he's going to be fiery, but I think deep down he knows once it starts getting on top, he's not going to have the answers.
Watching you in your career, we're still kind of questioning, is Chris EUBANK Jr. the real deal? The question really come up before your Groves fight, which didn't go your way, but people are still kind of questioning kind of how good you really are. Is that fair a fair comment to make, that people are still questioning how good you are?
People, I wouldn't say people, I'd say the haters, the non-believers, the people that haven't liked me for my entire career, sure. But the majority of people, I believe, know I'm the real deal. They see what I've done in my career, they see how I fight, and they know that, you know, this is real. This isn't a gimmick. This isn't, as like James DeGALE says, it's not delusion. I'm not a fake. I live the life. You can't have the amount of success I've had in the sport not being the real deal. Now it's just for me to go out there, beat him, put myself back in a position where I can go and challenge for these belts, which is what I want. That's the real goal. He's a stepping stone. He is my ticket to being able to challenge these top fighters in the middleweight and the super middleweight division. Beating him puts my name right back up there, and that's the goal. That's my dream all along, to be able to fight the best, beat the best, and be a world champion.
But do you accept that you are kind of judged on, when you're in these kind of elite fights and you're fighting the best, and the two fights where people kind of question that with you didn't go your way? So do you accept that this is another one of those situations where, in the mould of the Groves fight and the Billy Joe Saunders fight, this is exactly the same situation you're in?
It's a big fight. It's, you know, James DeGALE is a proven he's a proven fighter. He's a former world champion, former gold medalist. It's a big fight. It's a big step up. I have to win. I have to perform. If I don't perform, then yes, everyone has the right to say that I'm delusional. I'm not the fighter that I say I am. They have the right to say that if I don't come out on top against James DeGALE.
Just a couple more things, Chris. I know you've got to go and train, so I appreciate you doing this now. How does Nate get on with Ronnie, and how's Ronnie been with you since Nate has come on board?
Good. Ronnie is an invaluable member of the team. He always will be, but with me. He always has been with me. But I've said many times over the years, Ronnie's an overseer. He's at his age, he can't train me how I need to be trained. So he's the guy that glues everything together, that makes sure everything is going smooth. And him and Nate get along very well. Both big boxing enthusiasts, obviously know everything about the sport, always talking about boxing with each other. Yeah, so it's working very well.
George Groves retired a week ago. To some people's surprise, I suppose. Were you surprised that he decided to call it a day?
Yeah. I mean, 30 years old. I'm 30 this year. As scary as that sounds. And like I said, retirement is just so far from I can't even contemplate retiring anytime within the next few years, let alone this year, which is, you know, what George has done, retiring at 30 years old. But every fight is different. You know, he's obviously made. We all made very good money in the World Boxing Super Series. Whether it's injury, whether it's you know, his loss to Smith, there's many reasons why he may feel that he shouldn't continue. Family. if he's financially stable now, then I guess, yeah, he doesn't have to risk it anymore. It's a shame because obviously I'd love a rematch. I'm sure the fans would love to see a rematch, and who knows, maybe he'll come out of retirement in a couple of years and we can get it on. A lot of fighters do that, and they retire and then they come back. We'll see what happens.
After the fight, you firmly believe that you had won that fight. How, do you still believe you won that fight? I know James kept pushing you for that yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'm not here to talk about if I won or if I lost or George Groves or Saunders. I'm not here to talk about any of that. All that's behind me now. People are going to keep bringing it up, and I'm going to keep saying the same thing. I'm focused on what I need to do to win against James DeGALE. That's the only thing that's important.
Billy Joe, like you said, has been made mandatory for his old world title. Any thoughts on that, Chris?
Billy Joe he's a drug cheat in my opinion. That's my thought on it. I don't think he should be able to fight for that title straight away. But it is what it is. He got caught doing what he was doing. Set a very bad example for the youngsters. And it's another thing as well, obviously, with the rematch. Him having that world title made it hard to make. You know, regardless of what he's done in the past, I still want to fight. I still want the rematch. Can it be made? You know, it's been so many years now. We've tried so many different things. People have been blocking. So I can't say whether it will happen. But if he beats his opponent and wins the title back, then of course that's a fight that I will be, you know, more than willing to entertain after beating James DeGALE.
Okay. Chris, final words. What happens Feb 23rd at the O2? What do you do to James DeGALE?
It's not going 12 rounds. I don't think that he's able to stay with my type of the velocity, the fierceness that I'm going to bring into that ring, the smart, the tactics, the smarts. I think everything's going to be too much for him. I think he's going to be up for it, but I think he's going to fall short. But I do believe it's going to be a very, very entertaining fight. The styles that we both have are going to mix very well. He is, like I said, he's a proven fighter. So you can't underestimate a man like that. I believe he rises to the occasion. I think that when he has a live wire in front of him, he prepares accordingly, and he's always going to be a danger. But I'm a man on a mission. It's do or die for me. Sink or swim. So I'm going out there and I'm going to stop him.
Chris EUBANK Jr., thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Appreciate you having me in your home. You're going to the gym. I'm going to actually come to the gym because I've never been to your gym before. So if you're lacking on sparring partners.
Yeah, no, well, we've got that covered. If you want to do a couple rounds, we can fit you in.
No, because I think you would take liberties in a spar. I would because
no,
I think
not me.
I think you would.
I'm not that guy.
I think for a showreel YouTube clip, I think you would take liberties.
I mean, if you're filming it, then yeah, I can't. What am I going to do? Let you get a couple of punches? No, I've got to.
Let's not risk it before your fight anyway. For your sake, not mine.
Oh, for my sake, okay.
For your sake, Chris. Thank you very much, and yeah, best of luck in the next couple of weeks. But obviously, we'll catch up with you. I think we're back in Brighton next week as well. For you've got something else going on there. Thank you very much.
Okay.